All right. Ready for a deep dive into a career path you probably haven't thought much about?
Okay, shoot.
Weights and Measures Inspector.
Interesting.
We're going deep into research from RoleCatcher, a career development platform, to uncover the unexpected world behind this job.
Sounds like a pretty niche field. What'd you find out?
Well, it's way more crucial than you might think.
Really? In what way?
It impacts our everyday lives, from grocery stores to gas stations to even, like, complex manufacturing.
Okay, I see what you mean. Can't argue with that.
I'll admit, at first I pictured, just someone checking a scale at the supermarket.
Right, yeah.
But RoleCatcher paints a very different picture.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Think about it. Imagine buying milk thinking you've got a liter,
Uh-huh.
and it turns out it's only half that.
Oh, that'd be so frustrating.
Or filling your car with gas, but the meter's inaccurate.
Wow, yeah, that's actually a big deal.
That's the chaos these inspectors prevent
Yeah.
every single day.
They're like the unsung heroes of consumer protection. I never really thought about it that way.
They're working behind the scenes to make sure everything is accurate and by the book. It's about fairness in the marketplace.
Okay, that's a good point. So it's more than just scales at the supermarket then.
Way more. These inspectors are everywhere. Manufacturing plants, labs, you name it. They handle investigations, audits, deal with all sorts of equipment beyond your typical scale.
Wow, okay, that is interesting.
Okay, that is interesting. Let's delve deeper into the actual tasks these inspectors tackle across these different settings. What does a typical day look like for them?
Well, a weights and measures inspector's day, it's far from monotonous.
Really?
One day, they could be verifying the accuracy of those massive scales. You know, the ones used to weigh trucks at a shipping facility?
Yeah.
And then the next day, they might be at your local gas station, making sure the fuel pumps are dispensing accurately.
It's like they're the guardians of fair trade, right?
Exactly.
Making sure no one's getting shortchanged on everyday essentials.
Precisely. Take those gas pumps, for example. Inspectors use specialized equipment, to make sure you're getting the exact amount of fuel that you paid for, down to the milliliter.
Wow. I never even considered that level of detail.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher mentioned something about investigations, too.
Right.
So it's not just checking equipment.
It's not just about, checking equipment. Remember that detective aspect we mentioned?
Yeah.
These inspectors, they're trained to spot discrepancies, investigate potential fraud. They could even build cases for prosecution if it comes to that.
Wow. That's way more intense than I imagined.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of skills do you need to be successful in this line of work?
Well, obviously, you've got to have a good grasp of math, right? And an eye for detail.
Make sense?
But RoleCatcher emphasized that it takes more than just being good with numbers.
Yeah, they really dove deep into that whole skill set. What else stood out to you?
Communication.
Really?
Communication skills, they're really key. You're interacting with business owners, consumers, sometimes even, legal professionals.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to be able to explain, sometimes, complex regulations, but clearly and confidently.
And you had mentioned maybe even dealing with hazardous materials, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Depending on the industry, inspectors might encounter all sorts of stuff, chemicals, radioactive materials.
Oh, wow.
It just depends, which is why safety training, it's a really big part of the job.
That makes sense. It's incredible how diverse this job is. And then on top of all that, there's the technology piece. RoleCatcher mentioned, it's not just your grandma's inspection job anymore. We're talking automated systems, mobile devices, data analysis.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The field is changing so rapidly. It's integrating cutting-edge technology, and it's pretty fascinating. For instance, instead of manually recording measurements on a clipboard, nowadays, inspectors are using tablets and specialized software to collect and analyze data in real time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Technology can probably process huge amounts of data so much more quickly and accurately than a person. Exactly. It can help identify patterns and potential issues much faster than traditional methods. And it's not just about data collection either.
Right.
RoleCatcher highlighted this too. The use of sophisticated software for 3D scanning, laser measurement, all these high-tech tools, to ensure accuracy, especially in things like manufacturing and construction.
So you need to be pretty tech savvy to succeed as a weights and measures inspector these days. It sounds like a career where you have to constantly learn and adapt to new tools and technologies.
Absolutely. I mean, this field is fascinating. It's this blend of traditional inspection techniques combined with all this cutting edge technology.
So we've talked about the surprisingly diverse tasks, the unexpected need for strong communication, even investigative skills, and then we add in the growing role of technology in the field. But what does RoleCatcher say about the career path itself? Is there room for growth and advancement? So we've talked about the surprisingly diverse tasks, the unexpected need for strong communication, even investigative skills, and then we add in the growing role of technology in the field. But what does RoleCatcher say about the career path itself? Is there room for growth and advancement?
Oh, absolutely. RoleCatcher outlines a pretty clear trajectory for aspiring inspectors. Like you might start at an entry-level position,
Okay.
assisting senior inspectors, getting a feel for the different sectors.
Right, so hands-on experience from the get-go.
Exactly. And then as you gain experience and expertise, you can move up, to a junior inspector role,
Hmm.
taking on more responsibility, conducting independent inspections. You might even specialize in a particular area, like maybe fuel inspection or pharmaceuticals.
Oh, interesting. So specialization is a possibility.
Oh.
I imagine different industries probably have their own unique sets of regulations and challenges and all of that.
Precisely. And then for those with, a knack for leadership who really understand the field,
Yeah.
there's the senior inspector level,
Okay.
overseeing teams of inspectors,
Right.
mentoring junior staff. They might even contribute to developing new regulations, industry standards.
Wow. So there's a real opportunity to shape the future of the profession.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the job satisfaction.
Right.
We've talked about how important this work is.
Yeah.
Weights and measures inspectors, they play a crucial role in making sure things are fair and accurate. I mean, in countless aspects of our lives.
A lot of responsibility.
It is. That sense of purpose, it can be really rewarding for a lot of people.
Yeah. They're like the silent guardians of fair trade, right?
Exactly.
Working behind the scenes to protect us, the consumers.
Uh-huh.
And to maintain a level playing field for businesses, too.
Exactly. But like any job, it has its downsides too.
Oh,
RoleCatcher acknowledges that. Inspectors, they sometimes deal with difficult situations,
Yeah.
maybe uncooperative people, or having to work in potentially hazardous environments.
Right. Those things come with the territory.
Yeah.
Takes a certain kind of person.
Absolutely. That's why communication, those interpersonal skills, they're so important in this field.
Makes sense.
But overall, RoleCatcher paints a pretty positive picture of the career outlook.
Okay, that's good to hear.
With all these regulations increasing and a growing emphasis on consumer protection, and then you factor in technology.
Right.
The demand for skilled weights and measures inspectors, it's expected to stay strong.
That's reassuring,
Hmm.
especially for someone, maybe thinking about this as a career. And speaking of which, RoleCatcher actually offers some pretty cool resources, right?
Yeah,
For people looking to get into the field.
they do. They've got a bunch of tools, detailed career guides, tailored interview questions. They even have AI-powered skills gap analysis. So that can help you figure out where you might need to, brush up on your skills.
That's amazing, especially if you're someone who maybe feels a little bit lost on your career journey.
For sure.
So to wrap things up, we went from picturing someone checking scales at the grocery store to this surprisingly diverse and dynamic career path.
It really is.
These are the unsung heroes of fair trade.
I like that.
Armed with all this technical expertise, investigative skills, and they're committed to accuracy, making sure we get what we pay for every single time.
It's all about fairness.
That's right.
And accuracy.
Exactly. And as technology keeps advancing, it'll be interesting to see what happens. How does the role of a weights and measures inspector evolve?
Good question.
Will we see more tech-savvy inspectors equipped with even more sophisticated tools? Or will AI eventually take over? That's something to think about. This deep dive has given us a lot to consider about the future of this vital profession. Until next time, keep those scales balanced, and remember, there's more to the world of weights and measures than meets the eye.